which claim would you like to debate?
Trump is playing with World War III.
Okay, yeah. Tell me why you think that's not true.
Well, who would the Axis be?
What do you mean?
In the previous world wars, there was allies and then there was Axis, right? World War II, you had an Axis. That would be Japan, Italy, Germany. Who would the Axis be here exactly?
So I think it would inevitably, in this case, it would be Trump's doing, or then I guess in this case you could say the U.S. So whenever you refer to like the world wars, like World War I and World War II, obviously, like we can both agree to the fact that it was the that caused that to happen, right?
No.
At that time, then
Yahtzee. No, that's not what happened. Then. But that aside, they were involved for sure. The Germans were a key part of that war. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. They're a key part of World War I too. But who would the Axis be for World War III? You say that Trump's playing with World War, but against who? Like who's lining up against the United States? Who's the Axis going to be?
Yeah, so it's not necessarily anybody lining up against the U.S. It's more or less the U.S. lining up against multiple different feuds at once. So we've gone into Venezuela. And
well, that's not a world war, though,
while also bombing Venezuela. No, I'm getting to that.
Okay.
So also he's in Iran in an active war that we were not involved in.
Mm-hmm.
Brought us into that war, which obviously caused for us to be in a great big conflict, which is also very dangerous due to the fact that Russia and China back Iran along with North Korea. North Korea leader Kim Jong-un actually
so you think that
Iran
there will
that
be
if they wanted, they would give them nuclear power to bomb, and said that one ballistic missile would wipe out all.
Okay, so you're saying that the Axis would be
is showing that like they are.
Yeah. So who's the Axis going to be?
Is
one of my question. Who's the Axis? Is it going to be China and Russia and North Korea and Iran against the Western powers? Is that how you think that would play out?
I mean, most likely, I think what we're going to see in that as well is also the fact that Trump has also threatened members of NATO as well. And since NATO has not involved themselves in the war with Iran, when the peace deal says an attack against one is an attack against all, that is signaling that NATO is not willing to help the U.S. because of claims.
Well, then how would that be a world war? That would be the opposite of a world war.
Because
the world war requires the world to be at war.
Because also,
right?
like Denmark, you know Denmark owns Greenland, correct? So Trump has also talked about invading Greenland. So if you keep like attacking all of these different countries at once,
you think that Trump's going to attack Greenland?
All of these. Do I think Trump's going to attack Greenland? Yeah, you think he's going to
attack Greenland, dude? Come on.
I mean, potentially no, but he has said he's going to, and we have to take the president of the United States seriously.
So how come China's not over in the Straits of Hormuz with, their battleships assisting Iran in their war with the United States? How come Russia is getting pounded by Ukraine? They can't even breach the Donbass region, right? Where do you think these people are going to do exactly? What do you think Russia's going to do? They can't even take out Ukraine.
Yeah, so I don't.
They can't even breach the Donbass region of Ukraine. What do you think they're going to do to the U.S.?
Yeah, so once again, boots on the soil isn't like the fear of World War III. It's nuclear warfare. And I mean, obviously, Russia has one of the largest nuclear programs in the world. I believe they actually have the largest nuclear program in the world, if I'm not mistaken.
So?
And it's irrelevant that they're losing to Ukraine. The claim is that he's playing with World War III. I don't see where the fact that they're not a strong country isn't relevant. This is just the start of a lot of things that's potentially unfolding in front of Trump's eyes that he's trying to mitigate. And honestly, in my theory, I think this whole war was a big thing to try to extract from the Epstein
Yeah, you haven't
files.
shown me how this is playing with World War III,
you're up
though.
here to debate.
Yeah, I'm up here to debate how this is playing with World War III.
Stating the fact that there's multiple countries that he has already made angry that are supposed to be our closest allies. If you're going to attack Greenland, then NATO is required by that point to actually attack the U.S. because an attack on one is an attack against all. And since Trump has off a vast majority of NATO by saying that he actually wants to break up NATO because he doesn't think that they're useful to us, that's going to spark a massive conflict, not only with NATO, but also the other countries that Trump has made.
So you think that
like
the
China's
Europeans
already talking about
you think that the Western Europeans are going to go to war with the United States?
That the U.S. has
You think the
I think
Western
European
Europeans are going to
countries
go
are
to war
going-
with the United States? Or you can't be serious.
I think potentially. I mean, I think
What?
there's enough backing it that like that potentially could happen.
Now, how? Like, play it out for me.
Thank you, Lily.
How would NATO? What you think that NATO nations are going to get together and attack the United States? The United States is the biggest funder of NATO. The biggest funder. NATO
and
exists
Trump
as a
has said that he
containment
wants
for
to
Russia.
Pull us out of NATO.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
pull us
well-
out of NATO.
well,
Sure.
Not
Absolutely.
not even necessarily Russia. There was a fear at that point when NATO was formed, and I don't exactly remember the year that NATO was formed, but it was the fear of Russia bringing back the Soviet Union, which is what a lot of people fear with the Ukraine
Yeah, it's
war.
for Russia
That's why we're
containment.
backing Ukraine as
That's
much
for
as we
Russia
are, even though
containment,
they're
yes.
not a member of.
Yes, it's for
even
Russian
though they're not a member of
containment. That's
NATO.
the whole point of NATO. Russian containment.
Yeah, they're trying to isolate Russia from being able to move forward, which is why
And
if
they have.
Trump pulls out the funding that he wants to pull out of
Yeah.
Ukraine,
Yeah.
that would allow Russia to move forward and would essentially put other European countries at danger, because clearly Russia
Well, then it
isn't,
sounds like the Europeans need our help.
isn't even respecting NATO.
Sounds like they need our
because,
help.
like,
Why
they're
would they go to
moving-
war with
they're-
us
they're
when they need
moving
our help?
tanks.
Why would they go to war with us when you
They're-
just got done saying they need our help?
No, they don't need our help for Russia.
Then why
but
do you
I'm just
care if we
saying
pull
that
out then?
If we pull out of Ukraine,
Yeah.
because I think it's ridiculous to put what our quote unquote allies are in danger of being able to actually be invaded. It's just once again showing that Trump does not care about our alliance
Wait
with
a second.
NATO.
Hang on. They don't need our help on the one hand, and now you're saying that we shouldn't pull out because they do need our help? Which is it? Do they need our help or do they not need our help?
So I don't think they need our help, but I think
Oh,
once
okay.
again that
So then
since
why
they
should
are
we-
our
why-
allies, it is
yeah.
our due diligence to help them. Because an attack against one is an attack against
What do
all.
you mean? Ukraine's an official ally of the United States, you think?
No, Ukraine is not an official ally.
Then
of
what
the
are you
United
talking
States.
about?
We are not
Then
required
what
to
are you
defend
talking
them.
about?
But the reason why we are supporting Ukraine is because it borders other countries of NATO, and we don't want it to get to a point where we're going to spark a war with
So
Russia.
Ukraine needs our help.
I don't think that they necessarily need the
Then
U.S.
why
to
do
help,
you care if we
because
pull
I
out
mean they've
support
put
from
up
them?
quite the fight.
They put up quite the fight with all of our equipment and
Yes,
training
with our equipment
and our special
Are
forces
you
on the
referring to
ground.
pulling everything out? Are you referring to everything out? Like
Yeah,
like
if we
everything.
just stopped funding Ukraine.
If we stopped funding Ukraine, Ukraine would probably fall in.
Okay, so then they do need our help.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so then the Western
See,
powers
I
need our
misunderstood
help.
what you said.
So the Western powers actually do need our help.
I mean, I think Ukraine needs our help. As far as NATO goes, I don't think NATO needs our help.
Then why wouldn't the Ukraine
I think
just
NATO's
why wouldn't
strong enough.
Ukraine just rely on NATO then to protect them and not the US?
Because they're not a part of NATO.
Yeah, so what? The NATO nations, if the NATO nations are trying to contain Russia, then they're going to help Ukraine regardless,
Yeah,
right?
sure. So there are
So then
other
why do
countries
they need
that
us?
are supplying Ukraine.
So
We
then
are
what do
just
they
the
need us
biggest
for?
Contributor.
Yeah, so what do they need us for?
Because
then?
we are the biggest contributor. 'Cause we
Okay,
are
so
the
what you're
biggest
saying is
contributor.
that NATO does need our help because they're not able to equip Ukraine then.
Those two things don't align.
They don't? That's really weird.
I think
it sounds like they align.
I think if say hypothetically Russia was to invade Poland tomorrow, Russia would get throttled as long as there was no nuclear warfare involved, like disregarding the US getting involved. I think all of the other NATO countries could take on Russia with ease, because as like small as as Ukraine is, and as much as like they've put up a fight, regardless of it being like US arms, because before even then, like we showed that Ukraine was actually, if anything, giving a lot more pushback. Lily, thank you for the heart.
Yeah, I still don't. I don't understand the position then. So what's the problem if we pull out then from Ukraine, who's not our ally?
So it's not a matter of like it's a problem. It's just a matter of I don't support that decision due to the fact that it would be hurting our allies. I think we should help our
Which
allies.
allies?
But Trump
The
doesn't
Ukraine's
want
not our
to.
ally.
NATO. It would help NATO be able
Oh,
to.
so that NATO
rest assured
does
that
need
they're
our
not going
help.
to be
By
invaded
that
by
logic,
Russia.
then you're saying that NATO needs our help then.
To a degree in
Okay.
which that yes, we are.
So
allies with
how
them.
in the world would
we
they
should
end
all
up?
be relying on each other.
So these people who rely on the United States for intervention and money and weapons and everything else, like Western Eastern Europe do, they're not going to go to war with us because they need us, right? As seen in Ukraine, because if we pull out, by your own admission, the Ukrainians are going to get decimated, even though they're surrounded by NATO nations, and it's in their interest to protect Ukraine. That's really an interesting position you have there.
Yeah, so the reason why I think NATO would fight us is due to the fact that, once again, as I said before, Trump has already discussed like going over and invading Greenland, which is a member of NATO.
And what do you think? Let's pretend he did.
Let's
pretend. Hang on. Let's just play hypothetical for a second. Let's pretend Trump sends in the United States Marine Corps to Greenland and takes it over in 2 days. Right? What do you think NATO is going to do about that exactly? Do you think that they're going to send their Navy in? Do you think that they're going to declare war? The Western European power is going to declare war against the United States?
Yeah, so once again, as I said prior, an attack against one is an attack against all. It doesn't matter if it's a member of NATO or not. An attack against one is an attack against all. So all NATO countries would be required to go and help fight.
Yeah, they wouldn't though.
With Denmark.
Do you think that they would? Do you think that that Western European countries, that NATO? Can you just explain the logistics? How are they going to get to Greenland again to fight against the United States when we close it off with our massive Navy? What are they going to do about it? What do you think that the Western Europeans are going to do about it?
Whether or not they would win or not. See, you're talking about like the U.S.
Do you think that they're prepared to go to war with a country they can't win against?
It has.
Like, what do you mean?
It has nothing to do. Well, yes, because that's how that's how alliances form. That's what diplomacy is. It doesn't matter if you think the U.S. is going to win or not. In all reality, I don't think the U.S. would win that.
Oh,
I think the US would be
explain the
very
logistics
highly
of how
harmed.
how would they stop us? How would they take back Greenland?
So military bases we have. So military bases we have in other countries that
which
are
protect them.
NATO would get disintegrated.
Yeah,
those protect
those
due to the fact
those
that we
countries.
are no longer allies with them.
Yeah, but
They would
our
get
hang on, dude, hang on.
and
Our
then we
bases
would
in those
continue to
countries
move
protect
forward.
those
We
nations.
wouldn't immediately go to Greenland. They wouldn't immediately go straight to Greenland. They would attack the U.S. where it hurts, causing us to spend more of our military funding and our.
Where are they going to attack U.S. bases?
What do you mean where?
In Europe? You think they're going to attack us in Europe? They're going to attack U.S. bases in Europe?
They're going to take them over and destroy them.
Oh, they are. Estonia is going to take over a U.S. base, are they?
You're bringing up like one case. I mean, like we can talk about the other bases in other countries.
Okay, let's talk about them.
The United Kingdom.
Yeah, okay, let's talk about it. The United Kingdom is going to side with NATO against the United States over Greenland and join their war effort. And what navy do you think that the British are going to use in order to secure this great victory?
I'm not talking about the Navy. I'm not even talking about.
You're not talking about the thing that they would
now.
need in order to conduct this war.
I mean, eventually, obviously, yes, they would need the Navy to go over to Greenland. But I don't think that's what these countries are going to like plan. They want to attack the U.S. financially and take away like one of their biggest powers, which is the fact that we have multiple military bases all across.
They
the
need
world.
us for trade, dude, not the other way around. We secure their trade routes. U.S. secures the trade routes of the world with our massive navy. They need us. We don't need them. What do you mean?
You don't think we need NATO?
No, of course not. We've never needed NATO.
Then why would we agree to form NATO?
We agreed to a containment.
Why did the U.S.
hang
form NATO?
On. This is a red herring. It has nothing to do with anything. Regardless of why we,
that's not a red herring.
Regardless of why we agreed to it, right now, what do we need them for? Can you explain what we need NATO for? What do we need them for?
As of right now, what we need NATO for is for the safety of our eastern side to ensure that Russia isn't going to form the Soviet Union once again. Also, there are other trades that we do with those countries that does benefit us in other ways. Well, yes, we benefit them.
We could hang on. We could secure all of that. Hang on. We could secure all of that without funding
like
NATO.
Oil.
We could secure all of that without funding NATO. We could still assist
How?
with Russian containment without NATO. Why do you need NATO to assist with Russian containment again?
Because Russia won't try to form the Soviet Union if there's countries all surrounded around them.
Those countries will still be surrounded around them. They'll still be NATO.
Because it would trigger World War III.
It
would literally trigger World War III.
I don't get it.
Literally
listen to what I'm saying to you.
If Russia was
Can
to
you
attack
still
a single one of the
support
NATO countries.
Russian containment efforts without without being a part of NATO? Yes or no?
Yeah, of course.
Okay,
but
then
it's
why
foolish
would
to
there be a
think that country all
requirement?
the way on the Western
Yeah, so then why
Hemisphere
do we need to
would
be
be
a part
able to
of
do
NATO to
anything about it?
assist? So then why would we need to be a part of NATO to assist with Russian containment if we can just assist with Russian containment
Because
anyway?
it would be foolish to think that the U.S. could actually assist them in that way.
Why not?
Whenever there
What?
isn't a diplomacy statement
What? Why?
saying that like NATO, because NATO's required, because that's the only thing that Russia has like been stumped for.
What?
Like in the idea of not invading places like Poland.
Okay, if it's in the U.S. interest
to secure
Russia,
okay.
hang on, if it's in U.S. interest to contain Russia, then we would just assist with Russian containment. We would never need to be a part of NATO at all. It would not even be necessary at all.
Okay, so let me give you a scenario.
Unless you're saying that NATO needs our money. Unless you're saying NATO needs our money.
No. So
oh, they don't.
No.
Okay, great.
So well, I mean, obviously, yes, they need our money.
Oh, they do need our money. So these Western powers that are going to go to war against us need our money. That's interesting.